Happy Friday, friends. I know you haven't heard that in a while. so, I just wanted to remind you, if you didn't get the message, that Mrs. Dawson and I, are going to house party together once at 10 and once at 2. And it's just kind of like, let's say, hey, see everybody. You can do both. You can do one. You don't have to do any of them. But we just thought it would just be a nice time to actually see each other and talk to each other than me taping myself because, I don't like this. But, I know that I want to continue to read with you guys. And right now, this is all we're left to do. So I'm going to continue with Restart. And I hope at one of the sessions that I get the chance to actually see your faces and just have a little laugh with you. When we left off at Restart yesterday, we read about how Chase was actually starting to figure out what kind of person he was before his accident. He found his court case papers. He's actually in the process right now of talking to Brendan and asking Brendan, what was he really like? All right. An English muffin rolls off his tray and hits the floor. What are you talking about? He stammers. Leaf man never could have happened if it wasn't for you. I mean, before I press, the old Chase. Who cares? He insists. You were really different then. I know I was different, but different how? Did I ever do anything to you? After a long silence, Brendan runs a finger across his right eyebrow. When I look close, I realize there's a scar there, partly hidden, about half an inch long. My heart leaps into my throat. Did I do that? I was leaning over the drinking fountain. You came by and shoved me in the back of the head. 3 stitches. Brendan, I am so sorry. Well, you know the worst part? He goes on. You just kept walking. You never even bothered to turn around. Not following up. That's how nothing I was. That's how nothing it was. I can't speak. I think of Aaron and Bear, our loyalty. It kind of doesn't mean as much as I thought that it did. Anyway, Brendan tells me, like I said, you're different now. I'll catch you later in video club. I watch him walk away. I don't know what I'm so heartbroken about. I haven't learned anything new today, not really. The stuff in the court document, old news. I smell it in every corner of the school, and even if I needed confirmation, it's right there in Joel Weber's eyes. Fear. Real fear. It hits me that no matter how different I am, no matter how much the video club accepts me or even Shoshana does, I'll never be able to erase the Chase Ambers who could strike terror in an innocent kid's heart. Aaron Bear and I must have been no strangers to that look when we were turning Joel's life upside down. I guess having the power to torture another person made us feel like big men, especially when we picked somebody smaller and weaker who was into music instead of sports. And believe it or not, right now, I'm more scared of Joel than he ever was scared of me, because I see that fear in his face again, and I don't know if I can handle it. In spite of all that, Shoshana and I are getting along better every day. She doesn't hold it against me that her brother thinks that I'm the devil. Maybe the turning point was when we were in Heaven on Ice together and she didn't feel the need to dump a giant sundae on my head. The important thing is, we're good. She promoted me to full co-creator of our video project, which was well into the editing stage. It's coming out fantastic. Editing has been tough since we've had so much great footage. It's practically painful to decide what to cut. We even argue about it, sometimes change each other's minds. It's a real partnership. Although we're done shooting, we'll still visit Mr. Solway a lot. On the way, Shoshana stops at her house to pick up our project on her computer. She's really paranoid that the school network will crash and we'll lose our edited footage, so she's constantly saving everything on a memory stick. It goes without saying that I'm not allowed into the Weber home. We don't actually talk about it. It's just understood that I wait outside and she runs in to do the data transfer. One afternoon, I'm standing there hoping Shoshana's mom doesn't glance out the window and turn the sprinklers on me when I hear music coming from the house. It's a piano, and I realize that this must be Joel, Hiawatha's musical prodigy. Obviously, it isn't the first time I've heard him play. Aaron and Bear and I were in the auditorium to watch our firecrackers go off, so we must have experienced at least a little of his music, but it's my first time in this new life. He's amazing. And not just because he plays fast without making mistakes. The notes flow like a river, speeding up, slowing down, changing in tone and texture. It's almost as if the piano is singing. I wish I knew more about music so that I could really appreciate it. I'm crossing the lawn almost without realizing I'm putting one foot in front of the other. I'm following the sound, which seems to be coming from a side window. Before I know it, I'm at the bushes, peering inside. There's Joel, seated by the baby grand, lost in his performance. I'm almost overcome with shame. We took this kid's talent and made him a target because of it. When the attack comes, I'm totally caught off guard. A supernova of blonde fur launches itself at me, clamping its paws around my leg and burying its teeth in the denim of my jeans. With a cry of shock, I stagger back, toppling into a large barberry bush. As I go down, my face and arms are ripped to shreds by the stiff wooden branches and tiny thorns. The dog is smart enough to jump off before I hit the bush. It stands at the edge of the flower bed, yapping at me. The music stops and Joel appears in the window. When he spots me lying in the hedge, his eyes widen in shock. "It's not what you think," I blurt, even though the window is closed and he probably can't hear me. To Joel, this must look like his former tormentor is at it again, stalking him in his own home. How could I be so stupid? I try to get up out of the hedge, but every time I move, I get scratched and tangled even more. Plus, that agitates the dogs, who starts howling. A moment later, Mrs. Weber marches across the lawn, tossing over her shoulder. "You must be mistaken, Joel. There is no way Chasey Ambrose..." She spies me, then falls silent. Joel's next. "See? I told you it was him." I try to explain. "I'm just waiting for Shoshana. We're going to visit Mr. Solway." "And that's the reason to skulk in our bushes?" Mrs. Weber demands icily. Technically, I'm doing more bleeding than skulking, but I just say, "I heard the music and then the dog..." "Mom?" Shoshana's voice. "What's going on?" Shoshana backs up my story, which, according to Mrs. Weber, is the only reason they're not calling the cops. The two of them drag me out of the hedge, which is even more painful than going in. So, he's all torn up. He's hurting. They kind of don't really seem, Shoshana's mom and brother really don't seem to care, which, can you blame them? So, I don't know, do you think this might be a turning point for their family with Bear, and, I mean, not with Bear, but with Chase, and since he's working with Shoshana now, like, what do you think? Could this be a turning point in how people feel about each other? And it also goes to show you back to when they were talking about how when Brendan told him that he pushed his head into the water fountain, forgot what that word was, and he had to get stitches. Like, that type of bullying's not okay. So it's just kind of some of those things that you think about of, like, really words hurting, actions hurt. So, we really are some things that we need to really think about those things, because they stay with people. Even though that right now, Brendan's, like, kind of giving him a second chance. Like, I mean, he really hurt him bad. So that's something he'll never forget. But he's obviously a bigger person because he's starting to be willing to try to move forward. So, anyway, I hope you guys are fantastic, and I really look forward to seeing you on Zoom later. I will talk to you later. Take care.